Hey everybody, today I'm going to make my world famous biscuits and gravy. I've already made the biscuits. They're a drop biscuit recipe that I like to do. It's quick and it's easy, and let's get to it. Alright, so for our ingredient list, we've got ground chorizo sausage. I prefer that over regular breakfast sausage. We've got some black pepper. I throw a little onion powder in there, a little garlic powder, some milk, a little bit of flour. I put that in about a half a cup at a time, and then some bacon grease. Okay, so we've put the sausage in there. It's on a medium heat, and because it's not as much fat in the chorizo sausage, I'm gonna throw some bacon grease in there as well. I don't know, like a couple tablespoons or so worth. And I'll put that in there like that. So we'll let that cook now. So we'll cook that down. Get that going pretty good there, because we want a good amount of fat from when we add the flour to make the sausage gravy. So we'll let that cook a little bit, and we'll be back with you in a couple minutes. All right, it's cooking pretty good here. We're breaking it up a little bit, so you can see that bacon grease has melted, so we've got that in there as well. That's going to make a nice little roux when we get ready to make our gravy. Okay, so at this point it's all cooked, and you can see at this point you got the grease in there from the chorizo. We don't want to drain that off, because that's going to be part of our roux that we make for the gravy. So I start out with about, a little bit, half a cup of flour. You want to mix it in, because you're making, like I said, essentially a roux that you're going to add your milk to when you're done. And when I mix that in, we're going to mix it in real good, a little bit at a time. You want to have it looking a little kind of dry, but not like bone dry, because then, it won't make a real good roux. So, just add that in, like I said, a little bit at a time, let that cook, because you want to get that flour flavor cooked out. And cooked roux generally should have like a little bit of a nutty taste to it. So this right now looks like I've got probably enough flour in there. It's looking kind of dry there. I'm gonna give you a close-up on that. So we'll let that cook a little bit there. When I'm doing that too, I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder in there. Not a lot, just to give a little bit extra flavor, and a little bit of garlic powder as well. Just kind of season it to taste. Whatever your individual preferences are and stuff. So, mix that in real good. The black pepper that we're gonna put in, I'll do that once I've got the milk in there and we've made our gravy. So that's cooked up pretty good right now, so I'm not gonna use the rest of the flour. And usually it takes about a cup to a cup and a half of milk. If we need more than that, and we can add it and thin it down a little bit. So we're gonna let that cook a little bit there. And when I kind of scrape the bottom, because some of that roux does cook onto the bottom. We want to get that out of there as well. And you can see how that's thickening up pretty quick. You want your milk to be cold. General rule of thumb when working with any kind of thing that uses a roux is you either want to use hot roux and cold liquid, or hot liquid and cold roux. Otherwise you can end up with lumps, and that's not good. You don't want lumps. So I'm gonna let this cook a little bit here, and give it a minute and stirring it. I don't like it to burn, so. We'll let that cook a little bit there. I might add a little more milk to it. Let's see. It's looking pretty good right now. Let that cook a little bit, thicken up a little bit more. You can see the bottom of the pan on there. It's kind of cleaning that roux out of there, so that roux is getting cooked into the sauce. Alright, so that's kind of how I know I've got what I need. I think I'm going to add a little bit more milk in there. Just it's a little thick for my taste, for my liking. So, and again, the longer you let that cook, it'll thicken up a little bit more. So, thin that out a little bit more. I can work some of that roux off the bottom there. And so I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the pan to kind of mix that roux in there with the gravy. And there's our gravy, and it's just about done. We'll turn the heat down just a little bit. Get some black pepper in there. Be liberal with that, because that's a staple of biscuits and gravy is, black pepper in there. So we got that going right there. Let that cook for a minute, kind of get that flavor in there. That looks like it's probably a good thickness there for us. So there we go. Turn that off. I've got some of my biscuits right there that you can see already. So we're going to take some of those biscuits there. On the hot burner. There we go. And then just take some of that and spoon it over the biscuits. And there you have biscuits and gravy. Enjoy.